All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at something I think a lot of people have been fascinated by recently, and that's, the rise of Irish heartthrobs and why everyone seems so smitten with all things Irish. And it seems like Gen Z and millennials especially are, kind of at the heart of this trend. So we've got this great YouTube video essay called A Deep Dive into the Rise of Irish Heartthrobs from the channel L Literacy. And it's just packed with a bunch of really fascinating insights. And I think it's Irish talent has always been out there, but it feels like we're kind of riding this green wave right now.
For sure, yeah.
What is driving this fascination?
Yeah.
Is it just charming accents, or is there something more complex at play?
Yeah, it's really fascinating. It seems like this wave is kind of cresting now, and the video essay makes a really compelling argument that the TV show Normal People, I don't know if you've seen that one.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Based on Sally Rooney's novel.
Yeah.
Was really like a turning point, I think.
I mean, Paul Mescal,
Yeah.
Normal People, instant heartthrob status.
Yes.
But the video also points out other examples, like Andrew Scott as the hot priest in Fleabag, and even Jamie Dornan from, 50 Shades of Grey. This wave has been building for a while, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And what Normal People did, I think, so brilliantly was it introduced a certain kind of Irish sensibility to a global audience.
Yeah.
And I think Rooney's writing with its focus on like nuanced relationships and emotional vulnerability really struck a chord with people.
Yeah, it really fits into, I think, this larger cultural shift that we're seeing away from like the traditional hypermasculinity and towards something softer, a softer masculinity that values things like sensitivity and self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's interesting how the video connects that to like the image of the Irish man as being like artistic and sensitive and
and emotionally expressive.
Yeah, emotionally expressive.
Right, and it kind of challenges that stoic, strong, but silent archetype that dominated for so long. And you can't ignore the accent factor, too.
Oh, for sure.
Let's be real. The Irish accent has a certain charm
and
musicality that I think a lot of people find incredibly appealing.
Definitely. It's often associated with warmth and humor. Oh, but as the video points out, reducing an entire culture to just one, like appealing trait would be a vast oversimplification.
Definitely. Yeah, exactly. And I think the essay really dives into this idea of like the internet boyfriend and how Irish celebrities often seem to embody those traits. Like they seem really genuine and down to earth and able to laugh at themselves. Think about someone like Cillian Murphy, incredibly talented actor. Yeah. But there's also this sense of mystery about him.
Yes.
And like quiet confidence.
Right. You're right. And then you have someone like Chris O'Dowd who's known for like his quick wit and like self-deprecating humor. It's not about putting on a facade. It's about being comfortable with who you are.
Right.
The video even contrasts this with like the American or British celebrity scene where it feels like everything is so polished and controlled.
Right.
Yeah, it does make you wonder if there's a different relationship with fame and the public eye at play here.
Absolutely.
It's refreshing to see celebrities who aren't constantly chasing clout or seeking validation online.
Right.
And it's not just individual celebrities. The video suggests that Irish culture itself might play a significant role in shaping this image. The emphasis on slagging, which is basically good-natured teasing, and the whole concept of like not having notions, which is like avoiding pretentiousness.
Yeah.
These are like deeply ingrained cultural values.
They are. There's a humility.
Yeah.
And a groundedness there.
Yeah.
That's incredibly appealing, especially when you contrast it with some of the manufactured personas we see in other celebrity circles.
It's like they're saying, we're not going to take ourselves too seriously because life's too short.
Exactly.
And this also ties into, I think, the idea of national pride, especially considering Ireland's history of resilience. They've faced centuries of colonialism, fought for their independence, and there's this sense that their culture is something that they fiercely protect and nurture that resonates with a younger generation that's attuned to social justice issues, don't you think?
I think so. It's that underdog story.
Yeah.
That triumph over adversity that I think can be really inspiring to people. And the video highlights how often Irish celebrities will actually channel that national pride into their political activism.
And they do it in a way that feels authentic, not like the performative activism we often see in other celebrity circles.
Right, exactly. They're not just voicing opinions, they're taking concrete actions.
Yeah.
Fundraising.
Yeah.
Donations. Using their platforms to amplify marginalized voices. It's a level of commitment that goes beyond just a simple social media post.
It makes you realize that for a lot of people, celebrities are no longer just entertainers. They're also expected to be role models and advocates for social change.
That's a powerful observation. And the video essay argues that it's not just about individual celebrities either. Ireland's recent social and political progress, I think, also contributes to this image. Think about milestones like the legalization of same-sex marriage and abortion.
Right. It positions Ireland as this very progressive nation, which likely makes it more appealing to certain demographics, especially younger generations.
Absolutely. You know, these social and political shifts really align with the values of a lot of younger people, especially in contrast to more conservative political climates in other parts of the world. So we're kind of seeing this multifaceted picture emerge here. The appeal of Irish heartthrobs. It isn't just superficial. It's also about cultural values, political awareness, and this sense of authenticity. That feels increasingly rare these days.
So we've been talking about this authenticity and like this down-to-earth quality. That seems to be like the hallmark of Irish celebrities. And the video essay suggests that this is like deeply rooted in Irish culture itself.
I think so, for sure.
What do you think?
Yeah. And one aspect that really stood out to me was like the emphasis on humor. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Irish humor is very distinct. It's witty. It's self-deprecating. It often relies on wordplay. It's not about being loud or trying to be the center of attention.
Right. It's that dry, understated humor that can catch you off guard. The video essay gave a great example of this with Paul Mescal constantly quoting Cheryl Cole during interviews.
Yes. It's funny because it's so unexpected. And it reveals this like playful, slightly mischievous side to his personality. It's a way of like disarming people and showing that you don't take yourself too seriously.
Right.
Which again ties back to that idea of authenticity.
It's like they're saying, we're all just having a laugh here.
Exactly.
And the video essay contrasts this with like the polished and controlled image that's often projected by like American or British celebrities. They even mention how like a lot of Irish celebrities choose not to have public social media accounts.
That's true.
Which is almost unheard of these days. It seems to suggest like a different perspective on fame and the public eye.
It does.
So maybe like growing up in a smaller country like Ireland where everybody contributes to this like
I think so.
You show groundedness.
I think there's a sense of community and shared experience there that might foster humility and discourage inflated egos.
It's that small town mentality where you can't really get away with being too pretentious because everyone knows your auntie.
Right.
And this ties into the observation that Irish celebrities are often perceived as like unproblematic.
Right.
I know it's a loaded term, but it points to, I think, a certain perception of like good character and trustworthiness, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the audiences seem to trust that Irish celebrities will be genuine and act in accordance with their values. And this trust isn't just built on words, it's reinforced by their actions, especially when it comes to political activism.
Right. The video essay highlights how Irish celebrities have this long history of speaking out against injustice.
I do.
Which really resonates with younger generations who are very politically engaged.
For sure. And it's important to remember that this activism isn't a recent trend. It's deeply rooted in their history and their own experience with colonialism and oppression. They've lived through the Troubles. They understand the impact of conflict and injustice firsthand, which I think makes their activism feel all the more authentic and powerful.
You're absolutely right. And the essay specifically highlights their vocal support for Palestine as an example.
And it's seen as a genuine act of solidarity, not a performative gesture for social media points. It's about standing up for what they believe in, even when it might be unpopular or controversial.
And speaking of cultural pride, the video essay even mentions the resurgence of interest in like the Irish language. They talk about groups like Kneecap who rap in this like mix of Irish and English, and they're using their music as this form of resistance and a way to reclaim their cultural heritage.
It's a powerful reminder that language can be both a tool of oppression and a symbol of liberation. And it reflects this broader revival of interest in Irish culture. not just among Irish people themselves, but globally.
It seems like we're seeing this convergence of factors here: cultural values,
Yeah.
a distinct sense of humor,
Yeah.
a history of resilience, a commitment to social justice, and of course, that undeniable charm. All of this contributes to, I think, shaping this image of the Irish heartthrob.
It's a fascinating phenomenon, but it's also important to remember that this is just one perspective, one lens through which we're viewing this trend. It's crucial to be mindful of stereotypes and recognize that not all Irishmen fit this mold.
That's a great point. We always have to be careful about generalizations. But what I find so compelling about this deep dive is that it encourages us to go beyond the surface and explore the cultural and historical forces that shape our perceptions of masculinity and celebrity and national identity.
It's a reminder that popular culture isn't just frivolous entertainment. It often reflects deeper societal trends and anxieties.
Now, the video essay doesn't shy away from some of the potentially more complicated aspects of this Irish heartthrob phenomenon. They bring up this idea of like Irishness occupying this Goldilocks position, being seen as this comfortable form of exoticism. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting that they bring up this idea of Irishness being seen as this comfortable form of exoticism.
Right.
They call it this Goldilocks position. Different enough to be interesting, but not too different to feel threatening. Makes you think about how cultural appreciation can sometimes blur the lines with like...
Absolutely.
That's a great point. It's a nuanced conversation because, celebrating Irish culture and identity is fantastic, but we also need to be cautious about romanticizing or even fetishizing that identity without acknowledging the complexities of like race and power and representation.
Right. And they even bring up comments from viewers who describe Irish culture as like quirky and cute, which is a very different reaction than what a lot of non-white cultures often face.
It highlights the fact that even when celebrating a culture, we need to be mindful of the existing power dynamics and the potential for unconscious bias. The essay argues that this celebration of Irishness, while positive in many ways, might still operate within a system that privileges whiteness.
Right. That's a really important point to consider.
It is.
It makes you question, like, are we engaging with different cultures on their own terms?
Yeah.
Or are we kind of projecting our own fantasies and desires onto them?
Absolutely. It's a conversation that needs to happen alongside the celebration. We can't just ignore the power dynamics at play. And the video essay makes another interesting observation by linking this current wave of Irishness to like the Anglophilia we saw a few years back.
Ah, yes. The era of BBC Sherlock.
Yeah.
One Direction. An obsession with all things British.
Exactly. And as the video suggests, maybe people are seeking something different now. A culture that aligns more closely with their values.
A culture that has like a different story to tell, one of resilience against colonialism and a strong commitment to social justice.
Precisely.
And with its recent progressive strides on issues like same-sex marriage and abortion, Ireland might appear as a more appealing alternative for many.
It seems that this fascination isn't just about
aesthetics or charm, but also about aligning yourself with a culture that reflects your own beliefs.
It's fascinating how these cultural trends often build upon or react to what came before. We're always evolving and looking for ways to express our identities and values.
Yeah, it's like we're all on this journey of cultural discovery, trying to figure out where we belong and what resonates with us.
And in a world that can feel increasingly uncertain and divided, finding a culture that feels both familiar and aspirational can be comforting.
So to wrap things up, it seems that the rising popularity of Irishmen and Irish culture is this multifaceted phenomenon that's driven by evolving ideals of masculinity, the allure of Irish culture, a growing awareness of social justice, and of course, that undeniable Irish charm.
It's a phenomenon worth paying attention to.
Yeah.
Because it offers a glimpse into our collective desires and anxieties and the qualities that we seek in the world around us.
And as we've discussed, it's crucial to approach this trend with a critical eye, recognizing both the positive aspects and the potential pitfalls.
It's about appreciating and celebrating a culture, while also being mindful of the complexities and the need for respectful engagement.
This deep dive has given us plenty to think about.
Yes.
Until next time.